Welcome to Bike World. Welcome to something very different and very exclusive, because this is the new prototype from MV. This is going to be the new Brutale. So this is a very different test, because we are in MV headquarters. That is literally the production line there. This is a new Brutale, completely new prototype, as you can probably tell by the look of it and all the wires sticking out the side of it. So this bike's not going to be unveiled until we get to EICMA in November. But MV have asked me to come along, not only to test ride it, to give you guys an indication of what to expect from a new Brutale, but because I've known the guys here at MV a long time, they wanted a bit of feedback. So they were like, kind of man who's been professionally riding bikes for 25 years, come and give us a bit of a rundown. Now, before people go, oh, the dash, oh, the warning lights and everything else, it's not finished. So the dash isn't finished, there's no traction control, there's no launch assist, no slide control, none of the rider aids are done yet. This is called the P2. So there's a P0, which is in front of me. This is a P2, and then there's a P3 and a P4, and different levels of development. So this bike doesn't have any rider aids yet, because that's still getting sorted by the test riders elsewhere in Italy or on a racetrack. So the fueling is a little bit crude in that it's just got like a base map in it, just a regular map. Oh, we're going that way. So ignore the fueling and ignore the no rider aids and ignore the dash, but the ergonomics are about set, the engine's set, the chassis is set. So there's a lot on this bike that we could take towards the new Brutale. So let's go give it a spin. So the current, or now old, MV Brutale is an 800 triple. This is using the bigger 950 as a base. Whether it is exactly 950, I don't know, because they won't tell me. I'm told that it's got more power than the 800, which I imagined it would have. And I've been told it's got more torque, which again I imagined it would have. But I just don't know how much more power and how much more torque. Well, that's why we're going to go for a test ride and find out. Straight away I can feel that the ergonomics are completely different. This is, well, it feels physically bigger, as in I'm sat higher, the bars are wider, seat is definitely comfier. Suspension feels around town actually very un-MV like, in that it feels quite soft. I wouldn't say soft, but it's not a race bike on the road like MVs generally are. Which way are we going? Don't know. But it does feels like a much bigger road purposeful street fighter than the 800 Brutale, which feels like a naked race bike. I don't know if the microphone is picking up the exhaust zone, but it does sound epic. So that is called the P0. This is the P2. And then there will be P3 and P4, which are being tested elsewhere. Now, we don't know that much information because, as you can tell, the bike is still very much a prototype. In terms of what we know it's based on the 950 platform. It's not taken directly from another model, so it doesn't have the exact same engine. It's being developed for the Brutale platform. We can tell you that they've looked at design. They wanted to make it modern. They wanted to make it eye-catching. They want it to be MV Agusta instantly recognizable. So it's not going to be a massive transition from the 800 Brutale, which to me is a stunning, beautiful bike. In terms of performance, MV have told me that they want class-leading power, but it has to be smooth, it has to be refined, it has to be controlled, it has to be usable power. MV 10 years ago would have just gone, give us as much power as possible and put it all at the top of the red range in the last 4,000 RPM because we want a race bike for the road. New MV are looking at it at a different angle. They want usable, tractable, torquey power. They also want to make the bike enjoyable and easy to ride for everybody, which again is not really historically factual with MV. MV have always kind of been the racy side. They've always kind of been a road bike, but a racy road bike. And the naked bikes were kind of like race bikes with no bodywork. But MV are taking a different tact with this. What they want the bike is to be usable. And finally, they're looking at reliability. They're looking at quality. They're looking at, I believe it's going to be like a 5-year or maybe even a 6-year warranty on this model. All those finalistic details haven't changed, but they're really taken a step back and looked at their quality control. What's interesting with the Brutale is it's produced here in Varese, like it's been produced for, what, 80 years. But the suspension is coming from Marzocchi, and the brakes are going to be from Brembo, and the tyres are going to be from Pirelli. This is an Italian bike with Italian DNA, with Italian components built by Italians in this beautiful Italian surrounding. I really like the fact that MV are still producing bikes here. It would probably be cheaper for them to produce them in India or Thailand or get component parts from other places, but instead they want it to be Italian and authentic. I don't think MV are competing on price like other bikes in kind of this middleweight class. If you want an MV and you want something aspirational, you're going to buy an MV. MV have given us the opportunity to ride both the P0 and the P2 here around Varese, and normally here at Bike World we just turn that into kind of a dangerous riding competition where we just pull wheelies and do skids and burnouts and have a lot of fun. But these are two prototype models, so there's only 1 or 2 of these exist in the world. So if this went upside down, I would probably end up in the lake wearing concrete boots. So I've kind of tried to be a little bit gentle. Oh, it's good. It is really good. Don't know these roads at all. It's also got no traction control, it's got no slide control, it's got no wheelie control, it's got no rider aids. It's got a pretty harsh fueling because that's not actually been set yet. But the ergonomics and the design and everything have near enough been finalised. They're about 99%. Basically, the last thing that happens in a production life cycle of a prototype is the fueling and the rider aids. The first thing we want to do is kind of get the ergonomics and the handlebar position and get everything else sorted. On the very first model, on the P0, the bars are a little bit narrower, the seat's a little bit higher. On this model, the bars are a little bit wider, the seat is a little bit lower, the ergonomics are a little bit different. The engine feels different between the two. I don't know why, because they won't tell us, and I can't tell you because I don't know. I don't know what the rake is, I don't know what the trail is, I don't know what the wheelbase is, and I don't know what the weight is because they won't tell me. It's still a prototype. They've kind of just given us the key, well actually it's keyless, and told us to enjoy it and give them some feedback. The feedback that I can give them is it's certainly got more torque and more rideability than the 800 Brutale RR that I've ridden many times before. It's much more rideable, it's got much more torque, much more bottom end. It's really usable through the mid-range. I'm kind of tapping on the quick shifter around 5,000 to 6,000 RPM, which feels about peak torque. Maybe peak torque's a little bit more. As I say, they won't give us the facts and details. Normally when we do these pista cameras, me and Chris look like intelligent scientists, but that's because we've had 2 days of research before and a huge presentation and a PDF. But on this occasion, it's just kind of
go with it and see what you feel. We've not had the chance to explore the real high extreme powers, but we're told it's going to have more power than the 800. The 800 has got, nearest damn it, 140 horsepower. I think this is going to be probably a bit shy of 150. In terms of torque, I'm told it's got more torque than the 800, which was going to be a no-brainer. But how much more? It feels considerable. It really feels 30, I don't know. It's really difficult to put a figure on it, but it's, in terms of power, I think it's up a bit. In terms of torque, massive step. In terms of rideability, that's another big step. The 800 Brutale is good, but only good in certain areas, only good when you start to ride fast, only good when you kind of drop into this window of enjoyment, which is kind of like the wrong side of the law, where this model feels like where it works, the enjoyment factor, its usability and rideability is much more open. It seems to be easy around town. It seems to be higher. The ergonomics are more comfortable. The suspension is plusher. I wouldn't say the suspension is softer. It's just plusher. It just works in a wider span. It seems to work around town, it works on uneven roads, and it seems to work up in the hills when we started winding it on a little bit. On the 800, you're kind of always kind of correcting yourself a little bit and looking for a smooth line and trying to avoid potholes and grates and just trying to ride a race bike on the road almost. Where on this, it feels very much like a road bike. It's still got lots of character, it's still got lots of sound, the quick shifter works well. There's an absolutely intoxicating burble on the overrun. If this is Euro 5 and it's going to sound like this in the end production, then it's just going to win hearts worldwide because it sounds absolutely beautiful. It sounds so sweet.
Oh, did you hear that? That sounds brilliant.
But again, it's really hard to kind of give an evaluation on a bike when there's so many factors we don't know, because we don't know how much the wheelie control is going to kick in or how much the traction control is going to kick in. We don't know how easy the dash is going to work because this dash is just a dummy dash. But if this gives us an inclination or an insight or a big hint to what the new Brutale is going to be like, we don't even know what it's called, then it's going to be a big thumbs up that's going to have the competition worried. In terms of pricing, MV have told us it's not going to be any more than the current 800 RR. So obviously it's going to be expensive, but it's not going to be a massive jump over the previous bike. But in terms of enjoyment, fun factor, then it's a big tick. Normally when we finish one of these tests with MV, as we ride back to the factory, I'm trying to get speed dial to my chiropractor and I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. That was not the case with this. It feels comfortable, rideable, usable, way more fun with loads more torque. Can't wait to ride the full version. Can't wait to see what it's going to look like in EICMA in November. If you've got any technical questions, don't fire them below because we don't know the answers, but we have enjoyed riding it. So please click subscribe and I'll see you on the next one.